In this episode of Rob Christie Hike Across America, I explore what possibly could have been the hideout of legendary outlaw Jesse James. Next I head to Meramec State Park, where I get a little bit lost hiking in a spider-infested forest. Then I take the time to check out a couple of caves before the sun goes down. First stop on the trip was to Meramec Station, where we were going to be doing a cavern tour, which is said to be once the hideout for Jesse James and his brother Frank. Here at Meramec Cave Caverns tour. We're going to do this tour and a couple trails as well. This place was absolutely massive inside. They had the whole store inside the cave. Even had a gift shop, ice cream store, bathrooms, everything. The tour does run about $25 per person, and for the most part, it is wheelchair accessible. Now, I've been on quite a few cave tours over the past year, mostly in Missouri, some in Arkansas, but what a lot of them have in common is they say that Jesse James has once used their place as a hideout, or had stayed there at one time. Nobody really had any proof, but this place did have a couple of things that tied him back to here. Now, what I thought I was hearing here was a waterfall that kept it kind of dark, but once they turn the lights on, it just turns out that there's a river going through the cave. And they think this is the river that Jesse and his brother Frank escaped through while running from the law. Now, our tour guide did inform us that a few movies and TV shows had been filmed down here back in the 50s, but it wasn't nothing I've ever seen before, or cared to look up for that matter. It was just kind of cool that they actually filmed some stuff down here. It did, however, take quite a while before you got to any of the good stuff. But once I did, I was a little disappointed on how they had things set up. They actually have all the stalactites behind glass because you're so close to them. They don't want you touching them. You can get under there.
Just one more picture. This is the right.
Pretty cool, but the glass gives such a glare. Can't really see. This is quite possibly the most packed tour I've ever been on. I mean, about 50 people or so. A lot of kids screaming, people talking, flashing their photos. It was really kind of hard to enjoy the whole thing. We just went through the lower level of the caverns where Jesse James and his brother snuck through after robbing a train. It's pretty cool. I didn't like that they had everything behind glass, but I guess you can't get any closer than that. Closest I've ever been to these things. So that's pretty cool. Now, this section is called the Grand Canyon. And just looking at it, you think, man, that's a pretty deep pit. But actually, it's just a reflection from the water. The water is only about a foot deep, but still, it looks pretty cool. Now, I usually hate it when caverns do this, put all these colored lights in, kind of takes away from the cavern. But they only did it in one room here, which is pretty cool and actually looked pretty neat. They actually call this the wine room. I guess the rock formations on the wall are supposed to look like bunches of grapes. And there's a rock formation here that looks like a table with some wine bottles on it as well. Hence the name, the wine room. Now, supposedly this rock formation right here is said to be only two in the world. One right here in Missouri and the other one in Italy. Now, I've been in caverns before where they show movies in them, but they usually use a screen. This is the first one that actually had seating, and they used the rock formation as the screen itself. Tour guide talked about how this was used for performances back in the day. They did a little bit of a light show, showed a short video about America, and that was the end of the tour from there. All in all, pretty cool tour. Not the best caverns I've been in, but it has some unique features I've never seen. After the tour, I headed to Meramec State Park, which turns out isn't in the same area as the caverns is. It's about a half-hour drive away. So I'm here at Meramec Springs State Park, or Meramec State Park. And we are doing the bluff trail, about 1.5 miles loop. And I think we'll see some caves here, maybe. Yeah, ran right into a spider web. 5 seconds into it, I ran into 2 spider webs, which is a sign that nobody's been out here for a day. Climbing up on a little viewpoint or something. Not sure. These trails here are pretty crappy. They're not very well maintained, very overgrown. And I've walked through like 5 spider webs so far. I've only been here 5 minutes. Just came down them rocks there. It's on these cliffs here. You can see the water. It's just really rough terrain. In my opinion, very rocky. You know, a little bit over halfway through this trail. I'll probably walk through about 14 spider webs. Still haven't seen anything interesting, cave or any cool rocks or anything. No waterfalls. At one point, the spider webs got so thick, I started waving my hiking stick in front of me like a blind person, trying to intercept them. It worked half the time, but most of the time, I hit them with my face. So I did it again. I went and got myself lost. I followed this trail that didn't end where it began. It ended up in a completely different parking lot that I started in. So I'm gonna have to try and find my way another route, and my GPS ain't working the hottest. And all I keep doing is running into spider webs, getting annoying. So I thought I started at that dot, but that's where I wound up at. Turns out I started somewhere around here. So it looked like it led me back to here. At least I know where to go from this spot. I'm not completely lost. All in all, this trail sucked. There's nothing to see here unless you want to see spider webs in your face really close. All trails kind of screwed me over on pictures. A lot of times they put up some cool pictures and you get out here and it's not the right place. But we're gonna try see if we can get another short one in before the sun gets down. My last stop at Meramec State Park was Walking Fern Trail. It was only 1/2 mile, so I figured I could get it in before the sun set. This trail wound up having several caves on it. This first one, they had gated off. Turns out, it's a pretty big cavern underneath, and it's not open to the public. So I just got a tip that there's a possible other cave just around the corner that is not gated off, that you can get to, and they said that bats come out at night, so we're gonna check that out. The kid said when you get to the boardwalk, it's just around the corner, and there's the boardwalk right there. Some pretty big bluffs there on the side. So hopefully it's worth my time. Make up for the other one. Yeah, I see some stairs over there. All right, come up that top here. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to put the phone down and climb these stairs though. There, top of the stairs here. A little bit of climb. This is a pretty cool little cave. It's not blocked off. They actually get up in here. Goes back about 20 feet. There is actually a tunnel. You can't see it, it's pretty dark. It's super muddy. I think that's probably where the bats go out. The kid said it goes back about 200 feet. This is actually a pretty cool little cave. I need to find a place to sleep. I don't know if I'm gonna crash here, but I'm going on to Onondaga tomorrow. So that's gonna wrap up this video for today. So you found yourself liking this video, like, share, subscribe. We do have more videos on the channel and more on the way. Till next time, keep on hiking.